Good evening, everyone. I'm Shannon Rutherford, the town planner, and we're going to start our Farmington Historic District Commission meeting. I will start with a roll call of members. Jim Calciano.
Here.
Joanne Lawson. Here. Cliff Mix.
Here.
Michelle Fallon.
Here.
Jay Bombara.
Here.
Liz Gemsky.
Here.
Henry Pertil is a new member, and I don't believe Henry is with us, going to join us this evening, and Ted Sanford is also absent this evening. That, Mr. Chair, it's all yours.
Thank you. You just confirm, so we have all the regular members here?
All the regular members, plus one alternate. Liz is the alternate, but yes, all regular members are in attendance.
Great. Okay, well, I'll call to order the meeting of the Farmington Historic District Commission. And I'll ask the secretary, Michelle, to read in the public hearings.
Thank you, Jay. Notice is hereby given that the Farmington Historic District Commission will hold a hybrid in-person and online public hearing on Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 at 5 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers on the following applications. James Calciano, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install wrought iron railing on steps to parking area at 13 Church Street, Unit 1. Michael and Martha Cheshire, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install wrought iron railing at front porch steps and driveway steps for property located at 22 Mountain Road. St. James Episcopal Church, application to modify existing sign at 3 Mountain Road. Interested parties are encouraged to participate in this hybrid public hearing. Participation in person is at 1 Monteith Drive, Town Hall, Town Council Chambers, or online participation is via the link to the meeting on the Town Hall, on the Town of Farmington's website at the link given that follows. A copy of this proposal is also available online or by calling the Planning Department at 860-675-2325, dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 30th day of October 2024. Well, today is the 19th of November 2024.
Right, that was the date of the legal notice.
Okay. Yeah,
That's when it has to be published. That's why.
Yes. Today is November 19th. Okay, the first public hearing is the Jim Calciano's matter, and Jim, I believe, is going to recuse himself, obviously, and he's going to actually leave the room, which is the best thing to do. Thank you, Jim.
Alternate against you be appointed, or?
And then I need to appoint Liz to fill his shoes for purposes of this matter. And who's presenting for Jim?
I'm going to on Mr. Calciano's behalf. So the property is located at 13 Church Street. Mr. Calciano is looking to install wrought iron fence on steps that attach from a sidewalk at the front of his property to a parking area. The fence a railing, excuse me, will be 38 inches high and approximately 4 feet long. This is so Church Street is at the top of the page, and the driveway comes out onto the side street. And the sidewalk comes around, and it's in this area as it comes into the parking area that he is looking to install the railing. And the steps, it's 3 steps down to the parking area. He intends to drill and grout the handrail into the steps, and you can see that here. And this is the style of railing that Mr. Calciano intends to install.
All right, Joanne, do you have any questions or comments for the applicant's representative?
I have no questions, and my only comment is that it makes sense to me to have a railing on those steps.
Michelle?
I echo Joanne's sentiments and agree about the safety.
Cliff?
I agree with everything that was just said.
Liz?
Ditto.
Okay, I don't have anything to add. You want to poll anybody online to see if they have any?
So if anyone is called in to offer comment regarding the application for 13 Church Street, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. You'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Oh, there is one hand raised. John Estrelato. should be able to please go ahead, unmute your microphone, and then you may offer comment on this application.
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Okay. Hi, John Esralado here. Good evening, everyone. I am a resident on 13 Church Street, and I fully support this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody in the, oh, is there anyone else on?
And no, if anyone else, there isn't anyone else online that's called in.
Is there anybody here tonight that would like to comment on this application, or ask questions? Martha?
You've got, you may,
Yeah,
if
could
you
you,
would
Martha,
please
just
come up
go to
to
the
the-
podium and then give your name and address.
Same, a similar application. Martha Cheshire, I'm at 22 Mountain Road, Farmington. Since Mike and I applied for the certificate of appropriateness for our railing, we've noticed that there are several scattered throughout the historic district in town. It seems to be a feature in the architecture throughout the town, especially Main Street. So that's my comment.
Great, thank you,
Thank
Martha.
you.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing none. Does someone want to make a motion that we approve this application as submitted?
I'll make a motion that we approve James Calciano's application for a temporary certificate of appropriateness to install a wrought iron railing on steps to the parking area at 13 Church Street, Unit 1.
Is there a second?
I second.
Further discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Okay, we're moving on to, we'll wait for Jim to come back because he's actually gonna come back up on the panel. Better luck next time, sorry.
Well, try again.
Okay, sorry.
That's
Second
poor
matter is
representation, right?
Michael and Martha Cheshire. If someone wants to come up to the podium, identify yourself, provide your address and some brief comments or explanation of what you're seeking to do.
Good evening. I'm Michael Cheshire, 22 Mountain Road. The property we are talking about is located at 22 Mountain Road, which is at the intersection of High Street and Mountain Road. We're requesting a temporary certificate of appropriateness to add 2 railings to the front side of the property, one on the front steps and then one on the step down to the driveway. We already have iron railing on the property in the rear of the property, and we're duplicating that exact design in the front. I want to comment on a couple of things. Currently, the property is not in compliance with the number of steps and the rise. So technically, it should have had some railing when we modified this house 19 years ago. So we're rectifying what was something that was overlooked when we remodeled this property in 2005. The steps or the railing is a classic design, very similar. As I said, it's identical to the one that's in the rear of the property today, and very similar to all the iron that's around the village. Martha and I kiddingly say we have an iron deficiency. Apparently, we don't have iron in front of our house, like many of the other properties, especially after Porter's added that wonderful fence. So this is fairly straightforward, and we're asking for that certificate.
Okay. Liz, do you have any questions or comments? Yeah.
No, thank you.
Clint?
No, you have a lovely home. I admire it every time I.
Thank you. It was built in 1690. It's the oldest house on Mountain
Is that
Road,
right?
built by a British Army sergeant,
Really?
Hart, one of the founding families here in Farmington.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I have no question.
Michelle?
No, I don't have any questions, and I commend you for going into compliance.
No problem here.
No questions. Thank you.
Nor do I. Do you want to poll the online, please?
Sure, if anyone is called in online to offer comment on the application for 22 Mountain Road, please raise your hand in the feature of Zoom and you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Mr. Chair, there's no hands raised.
Okay, is there anybody here in the room that would like to make a comment or ask a question about this application? Hearing none. Can I get a motion on the application?
I'll make a motion. I make a motion that we approve the application of Michael and Martha Cheshire for a temporary certificate of appropriateness to install wrought iron railing at front porch steps and driveway steps for property located at 22 Mountain Road.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, our third public hearing tonight is St. James Episcopal Church application to replace sign at 3 Mountain Road. They've been here before, so they know what they're doing, but please state your name and address just so we have it for the record, and then give a brief presentation on your application.
Bob Siddell, 164 South Road, Farmington. So we're not actually replacing our sign, we're adding a new sign underneath our existing sign. Our church has merged with St. Mark's Episcopal Church in New Britain. Therefore, our name change is now St. James Episcopal Church with St. Mark's Ministries, New Britain. So our addition, as you can see, is that little sign there, which she's cursing it now. It's 8 inches tall, 54 inches wide, and 2 inches thick. And it will duplicate the existing sign with the gold leaf and the red marking and everything else, as you can see. Really simple. Any questions?
Joanne, any questions or comments?
Well, when I read through the application, I thought you were replacing the sign, not modifying it. So, when you add this new thing at the bottom, will you have to raise the sign up or
Nope.
anything?
Nope. Nope, just says the photo with the gentleman standing there.
Yeah.
Just gonna add something underneath.
Yeah, all right. Thanks. I understand that. No other questions.
And the add-on is the same material as the sign above.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
We duplicated it exactly.
Michelle?
No, I have no questions. Thank you.
Liz?
No, no questions.
Liz?
No.
Okay. I don't either. Would you like to pull online, please?
Or we'll check online. If anyone's called in to offer comment on the St. James Episcopal Church sign application, please raise your hand. Using the feature in Zoom, you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Mr. Chair, there's no hands raised.
Okay, is there anyone here in the room that would like to ask a question or make a comment on this application? Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion on the application?
I'll make a motion. I make a motion that we approve the application of St. James Episcopal Church to modify their existing sign using the same material at 3 Mountain Road.
Is there a second?
Do I need to say that it's the freestanding front sign?
Oh, it's
16.
Oh, as shown. Yeah, all right.
Do I have a second on Joanne's motion?
I'll second it.
I have a second. Is there further discussion on the motion for the application? Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Motion passes.
See you when we apply for it.
I do appreciate everybody that came today. I know these things sometimes seem like minor things, but you know, it's the little things that we take care of in the village, which makes it wonderful, and all of you and that keep your homes and properties up and comply with these rules really makes it a special place, which I think we all appreciate. So with that, we'll move on to new business. You should have all received the 2025 Farmington Historic District Commission meeting schedule that was sent around by Shannon and Sandy. I took a look at it, but does anybody have any questions or comments before we look to adopt it? They seem to now fall on holidays and that kind of thing, which is what's critical.
Yeah,
So
maybe my holidays, but.
every day's a holiday. for you. What you're getting it today, sorry. Okay, in that case, can we get a motion to adopt the meeting schedule as drafted?
I make a motion that we adopt the schedule as drafted by Shannon.
Is there a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
You got somebody? Okay. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we have adopted the schedule. Other business, Shannon?
Not so much other business, but I guess more staff report. Just a reminder that Historic District Commission elections will take place in December. So if you had any questions on that, just consult your bylaw. If you have any questions after consulting the bylaws, you've got further questions, let me know. We will make sure that alternate Commissioner Patel gets all his information. Not so much pertaining to the voting of the officers, but just so that he's up to speed and should be able to join us then in December. And then a final item, the One Mountain Spring Road expansion report is underway. Garrett has reached out to Betty Kuykendall.
Yeah.
And Joanne, he may be reaching out to you, or if he hasn't already. Just looking for some additional information. He wasn't able to find a historic write-up on an historic inventory. And then I think Betty indicated that the house had been moved. It had a different address, so he's gonna look again. She pointed him to some references in the library that probably have info on the building.
Yeah, when he did reach out to me and I told him what you just said and I looked and it doesn't, oddly, it's not on the library website.
Scanned, but there is a paper copy. I don't know why we didn't scan it.
So somebody can help him get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But
he's-
yeah, if for people that don't know, so One Mountain Spring was moved. It was on the Parsons property.
right.
And when Parsons expanded back when it was a, active and
it's there.
successful dealership, they needed more space. And so they agreed to move the house. That's why it's not a Mountain Spring house, but it was just sort of up the road on the avenue, if you will. But it's owned by the Historical Society, which is seeking to place it into the district. And that's what Garrett's working on. I appreciate the efforts on that.
Yeah, so he's doing and running that due diligence, and then a draft report will probably be shared for editing and additional data if anybody happens to have that additional info
Okay.
or wants to supplement that. Okay, and
Any-
that's all I've got.
Okay, anybody else have anything that they wanted to bring up or?
Yeah, I got two things. One is just a curiosity question. Temporary structures, specifically fences or like summertime tents, I don't know what else you would call it. That stuff I checked the guidelines before I came here. It doesn't seem like that sort of thing falls under our purview, or does it? Like if the temporary fence kind of acts like a permanent fence, then what?
I mean, do you have any insight on that? I mean, clearly if it wasn't coming down, I would say, then they now made it a permanent fence, so you could bring that to the attention of the town.
Yes, if it was part of a construction, like to fence off an area of construction from a safety standpoint for construction, then it would be up to the
Fence,
extent of construction, the length of construction.
Yeah, no,
Otherwise, if a fence was installed, we should either have a registration form for it,
okay.
if it's on,
It's almost like decorative, I would describe it. And,
guess it
you know,
depends,
kind
you
of to
know,
keep
some-
kids in the backyard.
okay, so it's not like a little landscaping fence or a trellis or something like that, because that would be, I
It's
think,
like
kind of
3 feet,
different.
2.5, 3 feet high.
I guess you'd have to, if you want, you can let me know an address. You can email
Okay.
me with an address. We can take a look to see if it's if it's for a play yard for an area for it that's temporary, because for children, for toddlers, that there's the indoor play areas that you can do for a toddler that's more of a gate as opposed to a playpen. If somebody's brought that outside for the summertime and fall for children to play in, I'm probably not going to legislate that.
Yeah,
If it's actually driven into the ground and wood and a little more
kind of has a sense of
Substantive
permanency to it,
to
yeah.
it, then
yeah.
that's, so in the absence of going and taking a look. And that's only if it's in the historic, if it's not in the historic
Right.
district, then it's really kind of, it's a little more open. There is a fence registration form that's required so that, but again, that's looking at a more permanent, like somebody's trying to define their property boundary, a pool area, a fenced in area for dogs, et cetera, that type of thing, which I'm assuming if you're looking to do that type of thing, then it's a more permanent type fence.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And the same for a tent. So if it's a canopy over a patio area that somebody was using for shade, I kind of look at that,
Yeah.
there are those
Like
that take them up and
wishy-washy.
down every weekend. There are those that leave it up for the season. Everybody kind of manages their property a little differently.
Mhm.
If it's all torn, tattered and disrepair and it's still up and it didn't hit the bulk curb pickup, then, we can send a polite little note.
Okay.
But that's, if it's a kid's tent or somebody's put a tent in their backyard and the kids are using it again, we try
Okay.
to
All
be
right.
kind of
Thank you.
mindful of, not overreaching.
Yeah, and well, and it just seems like it's a little bit of a slippery slope, so, I was just curious. My, second question is, 14 High Street. I looked this up right before we came. I think they installed a new door. And this goes back and now,
East 14.
oh,
Is that one of the ones we approved though?
no, she presented the retro door
Yeah.
and, but it was fiberglass. I think this was in February. I just looked it up right before I came here. I want to say it was February. No,
Help to put the new roof on?
Um,
it was a red door. I want to say it was further back than I thought. 14 High Street, it was February, maybe February 2023, maybe in the spring. Oh, God, I just did it right before I left.
I thought we had approved
I
that
thought we approved.
either
it.
that
I
or.
remember that.
that
It's
she's
the one we
having trouble.
approved for, and I'm
finding.
killing me. I can't come up with her name and I know her. It's just-
It begins with an S. I want to say her name. Oh, I'm not sure.
But we didn't like the first store. Remember she had the water
the
problem?
retro door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin Cole's old house there. I think that's where Evan lived once.
I do.
Thank you.
It was,
Amy.
yeah, it was
you.
and it was
Doesn't begin with an S.
one store. Oh, sorry.
Well, the last name does. I thought you meant.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant, the
You got-
last name.
you got-
Yeah. But I know they wanted to do the retro door and it was fiberglass, so we said no. And then she was going to look at for another door, but I just don't recall that coming back up again.
No, I'm sure Shannon can research that, but I'm just surprised that she didn't because she's.
Yeah, now it's like a basic black door. I mean, it's, I just saw it. It surprised me.
I thought it looked good. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
re-
I think, yeah, I mean, it's a basic black door. It doesn't,
It-
yeah.
You have got the wrong house. I don't know. Well, I'll let.
I don't have it
guys-
at my fingertips, but
You guys can.
we'll look into it. We can check
Mm.
building permit. We'll go back and check what we reviewed and
Is it-
approved
Not tower.
from FHD.
These?
And then we'll go and see
Oh,
about
oh,
permit because it would have
over here.
required the door replacement, any door or window replacement would have required a building permit with our building office as well.
Okay, and I wanted to drive by again just to make sure I'm not making this up.
Okay.
But no, I'm pretty sure it, because
painted
the
it.
color
I mean,
struck me.
Yeah, but it's definitely a different door and not just a different color.
No, yeah, it's because it doesn't have any windows in it.
Okay.
And, so
But it does have wind.
Yeah.
the
no,
old one did, the old one definitely did. It was like 3x3. And there's a door directly facing the street and then there's another door over to the left, but the door over to the left was not the one that we discussed. We
Mhm.
discussed the door facing the street because that was the one with the water problems.
Yeah, I remember the conversation. I just
Yeah.
don't remember exactly where we landed with it.
Yeah, well, and the door that they wanted to put in had a distinct retro look to it because it had like 3 windows. It kind of just, it reminded me because I think their house, I think she said it was built in the 50s or something.
Yeah.
And it just had something that sort of kind of enhanced that period of time. But the issue was that it was not wood.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't, I'll have to dig.
Okay,
I have-
no, I'm sorry, Shannon. I think it would definitely wasn't in 2024. I can't remember the exact month in
That's okay.
2023.
We can go by street address and name.
I
Oh,
Okay.
here it is,
I found the minutes.
September.
Oh,
14
last
High
year.
Street approved Amy Stokes' application for TCA. Replace front door as presented, with the condition the new door materials wood.
Yeah, and that, it's not the same door,
It just, yeah,
because it's,
what she presented was identical. to
Yeah.
what was there.
No, it wasn't.
no, it wasn't. It was very different, but it was
Okay, well, we
more.
can
it
Go through,
mo-
maybe,
yeah.
I don't, it's in time, maybe she had to put something in temporarily as a stopgap. I don't know. So
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
I know she had water problems, so, of course it hasn't rained.
Anybody have anything else? No? All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
No, approve minutes. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry, unadjourned.
Adjourned.
unadjourned. Delete.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the September 17th, 2024 meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any discussions, corrections? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Shannon. Adjourned again. For real.
You know.